Invisible Experts Podcast.
Welcome everyone to this new episode of this Invisible Experts Podcast. In the conversation around AI today, there is a lot of focus on tools, what to use, how to automate, how to be more productive, but much less attention is given to a more important question. How do actually organizations actually make sense of AI and use it in a way that creates real value? Because the reality is many organizations are tend to experimenting with AI, but very few are doing it in a structured, strategic, and effective way. So today's conversation is about moving from experimentation to real application. I'm really pleased to be joined by Jey Bala, Mr. Jey Bala, who works at the National AI Office in Malaysia, an organization, or you are collaborated with, no? Okay, he doesn't work with them, but you collaborated with it. Sorry, I
Yes.
got it wrong though. Because he works for Mereka AI Lab used to work for BGBG. You can check
Yes.
out because he also was a guest of this podcast in the past. He talked about sustainability and businesses. So check out episode 13 of season 2. I think what makes this conversation particularly interesting is that it's grounded in reality, right? Because we are not just talking about what AI could do, but what actually organizations are actually doing, what works, what doesn't, and what leaders need to think about when making decisions in this space. So today, we will explore how to use AI effectively, what tools really matter, how leadership is changing, and how organizations can navigate this transition with clarity. So Jey, it's great again to have you with us. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me here again, Andres. And yeah, happy to be chatting and talk interesting things on what's this big move towards AI with everybody, jumping on this new tech bandwagon. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, can you tell us a little bit how you are connected with Mereka, which usually works on sustainability, sustainable businesses, education, and AI? Because AI now is perhaps, I would say, your latest integration for Mereka,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Definitely. As you mentioned just now, BGBG still exists. Our partners, my team members, we still focus on sustainability. Even tomorrow, we have a talk where I'm doing some trainings with the whole social impact group over here. But AI, when we started Mereka, which means them or to create, BGBG means seeds. So it's a play of a Malay word. So as makers, this whole dynamic of bringing about change is something we always wanted to do. So we have always cherished that whole capacity building, teaching others. We even started Mereka doing a lot of STEM-based education. It started with doing STEM-based for youths, and then slowly we moved towards even focusing on employability, which is where we are at right now. So employability is a big landscape. There is two main areas we like to look at it. One is for future of business, meaning you're your own business owner, you're running your own organization, and then future work, meaning you're an employee, right? Or you're a gig worker. So those two areas are quite important, we feel, because as we were teaching the youths, we realized sometimes it was hard to capture them to do bigger things at times, because we were looking in that whole journey of the employability side, and most of them are still studying. So the advocacy is very important to be done. That's like really deep work and so important. We've got lots of friends who are doing those things, which is awesome, to bring about that excitement. Then we actually, part our way towards these two areas, right? The future of work. And digitization, digital transformation was that whole push always. It was either marketing, sales, digital transformation, always in that topic. And then we always wanted people to use all these cool tools, even using from project management tools and all these things. But now with AI, it's like you can build it yourself, right? And thankfully, we've always like looked for the next interesting things. We've always been re-innovating and thinking of what's something we can also do it internally for ourselves, because we cannot just say like, oh, go learn this and then we don't apply it, right? So for us, it's like learn it ourselves. So we have our own chief technology officer, Gurpreet. You probably also know him, Andres. So he's been like super active, always like running sessions even till today. Every Tuesdays, he runs a class for our internal team just to learn AI. And then he like finds out your use case, and then we uh, build apps or build applications or small things, how to integrate it or even just exploring. So you get that confidence. Then we were pushing, this whole narrative of how do we teach this as well? How do we educate this employability sector of people, what are skills they're going to need, and then trying to understand the different areas and players and what could we do, right? So that whole uh, push and thought process led us to work with some cool friends of ours who we've been doing work with. So like Microsoft is like our one of our good partners that we've been doing a lot of future of business work, but they also, as AI came in, they were like, hey, we need to do this. We need to run a lot of AI programs. Are you all able to run these kind of training? So it's perfect timing as well for us that we were able to run these kind of programs with them. So we're doing a lot of like digital literacy classes for them. We did a bunch of videos, animated videos, which you can find on, it's in 7 different languages for digital literacy. So it just became like the next best thing is like, hey, now AI is this big giant that we need to like get everybody to understand and learn. Let's work with the guys in BGBG America to actually do this with us. So from there, I guess when you have this kind of good partnerships and good relationships, it actually helped us to be in this space where we can talk to the big players. And that's where we are at now.
Oh, fantastic. That's very interesting, man. So just to like understand, so when G basically like do trainings internally at Mereka and you guys are learning about AI, what do you learn? Like coding or the architecture of it, or actually how to use existing AI tools?
So it started when it was just like ChatGPT, Gemini was slowly coming up and building up. So we started with our senior management first. That means the founders, because if your leaders don't have this knowledge, then it won't trickle down, right? So we always had that top-down approach, important, right? So we were scheduling hours in our time that we sit down on Fridays for 2 hours, just going through whatever he knows. So he broke it down quite nicely. At that time there was different models. What's the different deep thinking versus study and learn, the different processing, how do you use them? I think that time also, I think a few weeks later, we then did Notebook LM. And this is like 2, 3 years ago. Now Notebook LM can do so many cool things, but because we have that basic level of understanding, it helped us to like build on what we want to do more. And then we went through, even I did, even at one of the sessions, he was showing us how to do your own voice agent. So I have my voice agent that I can demo in class, where you can talk to this voice agent about your product that you have if you want to, So that exploration, not so much homework. We didn't have so much homework because if you give your leaders homework, they're gonna be like, hey, what is this? But then more like, how could you use it for yourself? So it's more like, okay, if I could use this, I could do this. And during that time itself, we'll just try it out together. So we kind of troubleshoot things on the spot, especially in the start, right?
Wow,
Now
man.
now it's getting deeper, right? We even took some time like just to explore. Everybody got busy. We were running things, and then we took time. Now he's come back again. Like, okay, now everything has changed. Now there's a lot more cloud program. Cloud actually can do a lot more processing and a lot more programming and stuff like that. So it took, you sometimes also need to take some pause, I would say. Yeah, you can't just be going hard at it. So I think it was good that we took a little bit of pause for a while, let the technology also catch up. It's always changing, right? So what you learn now in 3 months changes a little bit more for sure, right? So that pause was nice, gave us some time to breathe and do other things and come back. And when we come back, it's like, wow, okay, now we can do this and that. So now it's getting a bit more technical. Even for me itself, I'm like, whoa, this is because I'm from an IT background. So even for me,
Oh,
I
okay, so you
understand
get it
the
then.
I get the understanding of it. I know it could work. Of course, I wish I was in a dream state where I just say like, make me this, but that's maybe another like 5, 10 years. Now it still need to give it all the knowledge base. You need to build all those things on the background before you launch something, right? So there's a lot of learnings that we also had. My biggest one I always tell people is like for internal users, it's the best because you don't need to pay for all these softwares anymore. Unfortunately for the software companies, but you can build it yourself, right? And internal process, you don't need to worry because it's only for you. I know when you launch something for public to use, yes, safety, security, how it looks, all these things will come into place. So my big one is always telling people try it for your own team, for your own self, make your life easier. Then you move the needle a little bit. Yeah.
That's great, man. But listen, two couple of things. So, how does actually work this voice agent that you created?
Mhm.
So, how
Yeah.
does it work? Can you maybe let us
Okay,
navigate
so
through an example?
sure.
Yeah.
So what you have to use is you have to use another software, right? So most of these AI tools, to get the best power of it is you have to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so we paid for this one. It's called 11 Labs. It's about $20 a month.
I know I use
And
it though.
what Oh, perfect. Yeah. Then you know how it works a little bit. But in simple form, you can set whatever criteria, how you want this person to sound like. You can give it a name. You give it all your knowledge base, all your documents, and then you just hit go live, right? So that's step one. You can preview every time somebody interacts. You can go to the history. So you just can put this QR code somewhere and say like, hey, talk to my agent instead of you talking to the agent, right? So what I'm building now is actually a connection. So that's using APIs and stuff, where every time somebody answers me these answers, I should either get a WhatsApp message or an email. Otherwise, every day or every Monday, I have to check, oh, how many people replied and stuff. And these kind of things, sometimes you want to be fast, right? Because it's supposed to be
So wait,
automation, it's quick. Yeah,
so
please.
11 Labs, okay, basically you create your voice, but the question is how do you interact with it?
So it's through either a link or a QR you can come up with to go to
Yeah.
this 11 labs, right? So
Yeah.
the minute they scan, it'll say, "Hi, my bot is called Reka because mine is called Marika, so I put Reka. Hi, I'm Reka. Thanks for coming. Can you tell me your name? I even specify. Please ask their name. Use it repeatedly because people like hearing themselves. Then I say after that, ask them what do they want and how can you help. So they say, "Hi, can you tell me your name? How can I help you today?" So then you say like, "Hi, my name is
Wow, that's crazy,
John."
bro.
And I'm looking to run a training. Oh, that's fantastic. Could I know like how many people you're looking for? Are you looking for it to be virtual or physical? Feel free to explain it that to me, John. And I'll say your name, John. And then you're like, whoa, it said my name. Awesome. Then so you got to test it a bit here and there. And the model, of course, it keeps learning. And right now it's I think at least about a year plus already. 11 Labs has been around. So it's getting better and better. And then after that, once you get this answers, right? Whatever people have said, you will need to then connect it back, all right? Because otherwise, you need to log into 11 Labs and then see how many answers, who are the new ones, read it, and you got to like summarize it yourself, right?
Wow, that's crazy,
But
man.
if you connect it to maybe send you a WhatsApp summary of this, that's where it becomes cool because sales, you need to reply on the spot. Some things you might want to like, booking system. Maybe you want to book a hotel or a check-in somewhere, whatever service you want to get. You need it to, check the calendar, review back, tell you whether it's available. So all that is possible. So I heard like one person in a podcast, they were saying, they were so upset about their room. They called someone, they complained about it. They handled it really well, and they were like, "Oh, we'll get you a new room. So sorry, all that." When the person put down the phone, they're like, "Oh, that was such a nice conversation. Oh man, I was talking to a robot, not a person."
That's insane, bro.
Because nobody wants
Crazy.
to do customer service, especially for bad service. Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, I have to answer this call. I still have to be nice, maintain my composure. But this kind of like, customer service stuff is easy, especially depending on your product or what you do.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
see how to implement it, right?
That's crazy,
Yeah.
bro. So, okay, so this is what your G is doing, no? G is basically the person who trains you in AI because he's focusing on this. But because you have a background in IT,
Mhm.
for you, it's, I suppose, it's easier than someone who has no idea about IT. What
Yeah.
happened to those in your team? Perhaps they have more background in finance or in business administration or
Yeah.
graphic design. How does it work for them when they are trained
So
in AI?
So I'll use this term. Doctors are the worst patients for themselves. Same thing. Because I studied IT doesn't mean I'm good at it. I dreaded it even, And the concept we understand is so technical that we get stuck with all this like, yeah, but the relationship needs to matter and all these things. But a non-programmer would address it so differently that it's more unique and interesting. And just to share again, like my HR guy, he's now doing lots of application reviews, right? Every time you want to hire a new project manager or trainer, he has to filter, he says like at least 50 to 100 CVs. So he's built his own one, all self-taught, no G even. So G is good in like sparking these ideas. Then when you come to like roadblocks and you need help, you go to him. So that's what he set it up that way. So thankfully, our organization has built that culture from the start, gave them some learnings. Then we paused all, I think, easily like 3, 6 months or so. But anytime you have a problem, you should be able to go to someone in your team, maybe even to kind of understand, like, hey, what else can I do? How can I? So it's important to have these champions so that
Okay.
they are there in case you hit a roadblock and you want to troubleshoot some things. So he's just been doing that. And now today, so we were having coffee and he was like, bro, it's just so fast. It's just that each time I do this, the token, it costs me about 60 ringgit, which is about 20, less than $20, okay, to do this filtering. But it filters like 200 CVs and gives me the best. So he said, what I did was I tried to check and see whether the last person I employed, was it the top CV or not. So he saw it and then he's like, oh, it was so good because the person we hired was my top pick from the CV list.
But he's using a software,
So
AI software
he programmed
focus.
it.
So he did all the coding.
Yes. Yes.
But
Using cloud.
wait, and what is he? Is he background from? What is he background?
Uh, Psychology, I want to say.
Right? What? So he basically took Claude
Yeah.
and then how did he code it? He
So
asked,
he needed to set the parameters, he needed to go into the design side. So a lot of times, so when coding, a lot of tokens sometimes get used, right? Especially when you're paying for your AI tools. Okay. So what you
okay,
want to
I
do
get
is
it.
sometimes you want to use like free softwares like ChatGPT or Gemini to formalize or do everything you need, set the parameters, all these things you do there. Then you bring it over to Claude, right?
Okay,
So
that's
you have to
interesting.
do it. Yeah. So you still need to do a step-by-step kind of procedure to maximize the money
Which is more
spent.
technical. Yeah, 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 I
Yeah.
get it. So basically, you guys at Mereka, so you have someone who is an expert in AI, and then you guys start to learn like from the top down, right? The
Yeah.
leaders, the directors, supervisors, and then you get to the team. That's a
So
great
when we did
approach.
actually we did leaders, senior leaders, just the six of us. Then after that, we just opened it up to everybody come.
Okay.
Because we needed the lead, because the leaders here, I mean, it's a small organization, it's like that. I
Yeah, of course,
imagine
of
like
course.
bigger, maybe different. But with everybody there, we were able to like address a lot of things. Even just to share with you, we were doing some demos and we were just looking at like grant application. So we were designing with our proposal team how to look. This is where we always apply for these kind of jobs or these kind of proposals. You can even give it your login access so it logs in to your account and checks what's happening now, like which proposal should I apply for, which meets
Wow.
your criteria. So it then sends you back a message, hey, there's this new five proposals you should apply to.
That's
So you don't miss because sometimes there's so many things going on, right? And
and
everybody's
this is
using
you guys
AI.
do it through Claude.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing. The second question, just to maybe give the our audience a little bit of context. It is like, okay, you target students or people who are unemployed, right? Is that correct? And businesses, I
So,
suppose.
yes. So right now, um,
Yeah.
the initiatives that we are involved through the partners that we have, they are focusing on vocational youths. So those who go to vocational schools instead of going to university and the big universities, the public and the private universities, right? So vocationals are very good with skills. So at this moment, we are seeing a lot of push there, which is great. Right now, even today, so I was talking to another partner from IBM, and they want to run a program for 20,000 youths with us to go and talk AI for 20,000 youths. We need to go and like advocate, get them certified, and their level of training is quite specific because they want you to like really understand the so that you can get a job at the end of the day. So surprisingly, right now, we've got a few of these programs that's focused there. And I think
Mhm.
one reason is because Malaysia, we are actually focusing a lot on data centers. We're building a few data centers. So we're going to need to fill this employment of not factory workers, but people who work in data centers. So I think a
Okay.
good look at it is because if you go to colleges, their colleges is a bit more structured to very specific, right? You do this, you're that. Whereas in vocational schools, I guess you've got a bit more freedom to explore different kind of certifications. So they are quite specific because most of the vocational schools they either teach you welding, welding underwater, repairing electronics, and all these things. So they're very good, very technical as well, right? So I think that's quite an interesting push right now that we are seeing because we are involved in this area. I think my team, we just signed a memorandum of collaboration with the Malaysian TVET, which is the vocational schools in Malaysia, to actually work on this part. And our part always we love because we focus on employability. It's not just come learn, bye bye. We hate that because it's one touch points. Sometimes it's nice. You spend so much time with these people and then you don't meet them ever again. So it's quite nice that we get to do some mentoring. We have our alumni that we try to put it to a better spin that it's not like, okay, you learned with this and bye bye. We keep them on a WhatsApp group. We try to see because there's so many opportunities, so many other learnings that they can also be part of once they're part of America and BGBG, that we can help them to get these kind of cool jobs. So
That's amazing, bro. Listen, this is
yeah.
a really good point because I was thinking about
Mm,
employability, you know. I mean, one of the, let's say, fears that you
mm-hmm,
can see in the public, you can maybe like check it through the social media, through the latest reports, even like the news. Also, try to, let's say, exploit AI. That will be a big threat for for the employees, right? So the point that you bring in is very powerful because maybe it's another approach to see AI. It's not a threat, but perhaps on the contrary, it would be like a tool that unemployed people can use to accelerate their own professional career. So I was thinking, how do you guys see then that AI isn't a threat, but rather, a vehicle to, you know, help, some people to improve their careers?
Yeah, a few things to share, I guess. Because I was once in a panel and someone was telling, like, last time, my time, the calculator came out, then everybody said nobody's going to do maths anymore. All the mathematicians going to lose their job. Then the tractor came off to do farming. Everybody said no more farmers anymore. Everybody can lost their jobs. So it's going to be a change for sure. Farming and all big things in industries and stuff. It is going to change. So with that comes reskilling, a lot of reskilling for sure. That's why a lot of companies they are trying to reskill their talent. However, some people maybe they are not ready for change. They might not be the right suit for the company maybe now because of this change. So one thing is you gotta know is learning is forever. So be hungry for these kind of things. Don't be afraid. And just get on this bandwagon in some way or another. Always there's going to be change. Next thing you know, we won't even know how to fill a petrol car, like because it's all going to be electric one day, right? So these kind of changes going to happen someday, might change, takes time, but be that person who embraces it even in that way. So then it's about how do you use it in your day to day. So that's what we try to teach the workflow. It's going to change maybe in HR, in finance, in whichever areas. So how are you going to use it? So start small, see where it really matters, because these roles are going to change. And then what are you going to contribute back? So there's always going to be this thing called the human in the loop, right? Because the AI will do everything, but still the human need to check and then click send or delete or do stuff like that. So you still need to be there, but also not just to click send, delete, and review. But it's good that you know what the systems can do, what are the limitations, understanding how to even build them because it's going to get easier and easier, right? It's not that hard. Make those mistakes. It's the infancy level, right? So anybody, and like I said, don't do it like I want to launch this thing and everybody in the banking industry is going to use. Very hard because people are scared, security and all these things. But if you're doing it internally, you can test something up. Pilot projects are a great way to start things, right? So reskilling, super important. Uh, Join programs. There's a lot of online people doing things. There's a lot of free programs. Find
Yeah.
companies where you like these trainers. So when we run programs, our programs are free. Why? Because Microsoft, IBM, these guys are funding these programs. So in your country also there are these guys, and find that this. Check out what they have done before. Are they cool enough? Do you vibe with them or not? Because when we run our trainings, we want it to be engaging, we want it to be fun. We really put our heart and soul in designing the content, like how do you build an agent, a basic agent. But once you get that support and you're on WhatsApp forever, you can always message us. So this kind of community is important, I feel, and people should try these things out. I know a lot of people we can go into this topic, which is ethics for sure. One part of it will definitely cover that on the ethical side of AI, because I do this for students, and sometimes I teach like marketing and advertising students, and for them they are like, "Oh, Jay, no, you can't use Suno to make music. It's not right,
Because
you
they're
should write
purist.
yourself."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like all for that. I'm like, great, but sometimes you want something catchy. You write the lyrics then. You don't need to do the music then. And then you can improvise on whatever is given. You can find a real person to play it, maybe if you want to, and think of ways, because otherwise you're limiting yourself at the same time. So security checks important. How do you use it? How you think is important as well at the end of the day. Because we also seen when I do assignments, students are fast, like they get it like done. And then when I ask them share, even I'm talking about youths and adults, they'll read the whole thing. Then I ask them another question, they don't understand because they're just reading whatever is written. But it
Yeah.
sounds so smart. I'm like, wow, whoa. So what do you think about this part? Then like everybody looks at each other like, what's going on?
Oh my
So,
God, this is from ChatGPT, from Gemini.
yeah, so a lot of times it's understanding what it means, really matters. You need to, does this make sense to me? If it doesn't, probe again, like find out what it means. You need to understand it for yourself. And AI can help you, explain it like a 2-year-old or stuff like that to my grandmother, and then it'll explain it to you. You can do things like don't tell me the answer, but give me some guide rails. So for youths and students, when you're learning, yes, there's a different way of using it. And then for those in the working field, there's a different way to use it. Because work, it's okay. Give me the AI answer. If somebody comes and tells me and they said, like, I thought of these 3 things, you're like, did you check with AI? Did you get any others, information? Because last time you'll say, go Google it, right? But now you need to like at least bring whatever more information is better than you just saying like I just thought of this one way. So we need to think of those different areas for students. Yes, they need to think for themselves. They need to understand how to use it, but also appreciate the way that they need to learn. It will be different. Yeah.
A question for you, because you guys work with the youth, right? How early, from your perspective, should be a kid to be exposed to using AI, right?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, it seems like we going hands-on in terms of like setting aspects. So,
Yeah.
for instance, from your, experience working with the youth, how early, as I said before, kids should be exposed to AI.
Yeah. So we have been teaching educators at this point right now. So we're teaching teachers as well. Another segment of our program with Microsoft is to teach educators in school how to use AI. The big thing we're teaching there is two things. One is because reporting is too much work for them. So let's make reporting super easy. The second thing is lesson plans. So they can come up with lesson plans, right? So they can teach this in school. So they can come up with customization for youths to explore. Now the template would be slightly different, right? So for if you like football, make the example like this, all these things. But when it comes to interacting with AI for the youths, for the kids, it needs to be guided 100% until the age of even 17. Some people say 16, 17, around there.
Mhm.
Um, because the AI can hallucinate, the AI can give you different types of answers. You don't know where they're going to go with certain things because it doesn't have much parameters, right? It will just like can hallucinate. It has even, I think some people have used it like for relationship or family issues, and the AI will always cite you, the person who's typing. So that's a problem because he'll say your family is wrong, they are wrong, you should not listen to them. But every time a lot of models say this. So that's a big problem. So they definitely need supervision when using AI until the age of 16, 17, I would say. However, if they want to use it, parental supervision is important so that because you can do so many fun stuff. You can make yourself a cartoon character, you can become a superhero, you can write a book about yourself, and you can come up with coloring books for your next party with your friends. So you can do some fun things with it. So that shouldn't be
Hmm.
disregarded, and you should know it's there, but what is the implementation, so how to do it and all this. Now there's another thing like notebook LM, because you can set the parameters, right? You put a file, it'll only know this file. If you don't have this
What's the
file, you
name?
ask it.
Sorry.
Notebook LM. It's
Okay.
by Google. It's super powerful. I teach this to a lot of people, especially adults, corporate clients even, how to use Notebook LM because when whatever documents you give, it'll always cite it. It will tell you based on facts found from this area. So that way, you can actually put your lesson for kids, whatever age, in this model and then go ahead, let them play around. Because in that notebook LM, you can ask it to come up with quizzes. And it does it all for free. So this one is by Google. So it's a very powerful tool. Um, you can ask it to come up with mind maps. So if you want to study using it, brilliant. I think even does video at the moment, but not like animated video, but give it time. It's gonna come. So it'll animate a cartoon. You can say, make a Mickey Mouse cartoon out of my textbook and teach me photosynthesis, and it's gonna do it. Not yet, maybe 5 years, I don't know. Might cost a lot tokens, but we don't know yet. But this software is a bit more safer in that sense. So I
That's
would
crazy,
advise,
man.
yes. Yeah, I would advise definitely like still for kids, get supervision, understand. That's why whenever we teach, one of the biggest topics always I end or we always end our training space with ethics, ethical AI. Ethical AI is the last topic, and people love it. We make it into a debate. We give them certain scenarios, ask them, what do you think? What do you think? So people have that conversation. Then we give different scenarios where they discuss, they do a debate, pros and cons on this topic. So there's
Hmm.
uh, there's a nice Microsoft what do you call it, guideline that has been created. We use that, or even the NAIO one, which is the Malaysia National AI Office. They have like a 7 key principles that we get people to discuss around. So that's a very hot and important topic to always end with, I think. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, for instance, no, for let's say for businesses, right? Who want, like, maybe they want to improve their operational stuff.
Mhm.
From your perspective, which one would be the top five or top three AI tools that they can use or integrate?
Ouch. I know, this not even I was thinking about, because a lot of times top senior management, they think like, oh, if I get this AI tool, solve my problem, right? It's unfortunately not that simple. You still need to understand what you need to solve, right? And
Yes, exactly.
it's a business move. You got to have to spend money and time and all these things. So look at it as a business. Everything is about return on investment, right? I'm going to pay this much time. Who's going to do it? All these things. So we actually ask senior managers even to first rank what is something that you want to stop doing or make your life easier, will even bring you investment savings and all that. So I kind of get them to draw a pyramid diagram and then put what are the operation stuff that they do and rank it. Top of the pyramid is the most important, and they have to tell why, and we have a chat with them and we try to understand. Because so right now our team at Mareka, we used to do a lot of programs, like programmings, like building landing pages. We even have a booking platform called Mareka.io, so you can book services and people's time, because we're a makerspace, you can book rooms and all that. So we built it
Mm,
as an in-house tool. So all our tech team right now, not say they don't have a job to do, but we've moved them to do AI product development. So
okay,
now, so now we're building our own internal systems to help our business right now. And if somebody wants to build their own system, they can come for consultation. We talk to their team and we build it for them if they want. So we have unlocked this new business model in our team. So that's why we can say like, okay, first step is find out what you want to do. Why? Does it really make sense? Does it bring investment to your company? Once we know what is the area is best, whether it's HR, whether it's something for my sales system that you want to do, or something for your customer service. So it depends on where you need it most. Then only we can suggest what tools will be useful. Because it could
okay.
be a whole new tool, it could be just Excel, it could be a few different tools connecting with each other, and then we have something. So that's why we say like you need to first figure out which area is the most important, or your capstone project that you want to work on. Then we pilot it and try to build it from there. Yeah.
That's great, man. I want to talk now about Malaysia, right? You know,
Cool.
no, no, because from obviously you guys as let's say actors in your own space using AI, because usually people when we think about AI, maybe we think from the European perspective, the US perspective, perhaps now more China or India. So what's going on in Malaysia in terms of AI? Because I think this is actually like a very important point, because what is gonna happen with these upcoming new economies, like you guys, and what's going on with AI? And the reason why I'm saying that is because I know you are working or collaborating with AI at a national level, with the National AI Office in Malaysia. So if you can maybe tell us a little bit about it.
Can. So even I realize it's not only Malaysia, Singapore has a Singapore NAIO. So I don't know about other countries, but I bet everybody has kind of had to like, hey, we need to set up this agency or something to look into AI, right? Whether it's the governance or fundamental rules, all these things. So they have quite interestingly are doing this thing quite well. Definitely must give them kudos because they're actually like partnering with the big guys to the small guys on anything that's happening in AI in the nation. So they're trying to like, hey, how can we work with you? What are you all doing? So it's quite refreshing because a lot of times, these kind of agencies might not want to talk to everybody. They're like, yeah, we are big, we do regional, but they are like very nice team. We've been meeting them here and there. We even call them for some events and they show up. And it's so nice to actually connect with a team that's trying to bring about this kind of change. And when we bring them to the table also, the conversations is very big because they can bring in their insights as well, right? So there is a kind of an action plan 2030, 2026 to 2030. So 4 years action plan that they have to actually listen to what's going on the ground, whether it's in the corporate sector, whether it's in the education sector. So that's our main two areas. We are very much playing in there and in other areas, right? So what they're coming up is kind of figure out what kind of rules, what kind of ethical stuff that's happening that they need to address. What kind of impact is this going to have to the economy and the people, even jobs, big one, like you said, jobs is a big one, how they need to address all these things. And then also they're looking at trends and new jobs that's coming up, new advanced, technology that's coming up, because this means, while it goes down, there's new things going to come up like data centers and other areas, right? Renewable energy as well is something everybody's going to push for. Even these data centers takes up so much of energy. If somebody can solve that, wow, $1 billion, you're going to be a billionaire. So all these things are sort of things they are definitely putting their hands into to figure out how to manage it better for the nation. So I feel that's super exciting, right? Because you get to hear what are these things that's happening on the ground, in not only our area being one organization, but in a whole total landscape, right? So I love the job side of things because we don't know. It could be the next uh, big innovation that happens. Any country could pick it up and start something that's going to change everything. So it's still a very open ball game for everyone to like see how to work with AI. But I guess the good thing is even all these AI agencies from each country are also talking and having their own convene and summits, I guess, for sure, right? So that whole learning is happening quite interestingly to see. And I'm quite excited to see what kind of insights they're going to come up with for sure. What are the trends that's upcoming. So we have also been using whatever information we find, not only in local context but global context, right? What's happening, what's the next thing, because we also need to kind of make sure our model is not the same. Because like AI changes, our training also has changed. Agentic changes this way, you have to build it this way, you have to build it this way. So we need to know what's going on. So they are very good in sharing and being part of it and making it very accessible, which is so refreshing.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, oh, it's just happening there, it's this. Because AI, you can just either you go prompt it and ask, and then you get the answers from everywhere else, right? So this part of it, very nice to see, and we've been collaborating and sharing resources that way. So it's nice to be part of this initiative that the government is doing to be able to share. Because I think even for us, as we do this kind of work, I think where we want to see change is in the policy. And that really like feels wow rewarding because yes, teaching, bringing about change, sharing our reports and saying, oh, we trained this many is nice, but when you get to share this to the national level and you see like this data being used, wow, then you're doing something you can be proud of also.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So let's say, maybe you are in a very uh, special position or unique position, because you work at the intersection of government, industry, and innovation, right?
Mhm.
So I was wondering what has shaped your perspective on how AI should actually be implemented in real world context.
Yeah. So day to day real life, I would say it's the big guys, right? Those are the ones who are gonna like bring about the big change. So it's definitely from government, and then that's the biggest one, and then next is corporates, right? So I always will, and then education is important to know that everybody knows how to get this. It's equal, it's not like only for the certain few or whatever like that. So I feel corporate and government need to have that kind of sync in that way. So how we've been seeing, yes, the last 2 years or year or so, we've been doing a lot of advocacy work, whether it's to the public, we get people who are 50, 60 years old, come for a 2-day program learning about AI. So it's so nice to see all these different various background of people who like, what is this AI? How am I using this? What do I need to do? So that has been going on and should go on. Now then comes the next level, right? Which is implementation, workflow, and jobs.
Okay.
So implementation and workflow is where small changes need to happen. I would say like I'm also a bit sad and worried that some jobs are going to be gone, and even from hearing like a lot of people who lose jobs, they will retrain you, and then in 1 year you're off. They'll pay you your salary and say sorry, we can't pay you anymore. So that one is a big of a scary moment for some of you, but I hope with that reskilling or something that can be done that is effective, not just reskilling just for the heck of it. Okay, come and learn, and then that's it, just bye bye. So that side of things needs to be really figured out, because we don't want to have like people not having a job, because people do want to produce something or do something. So we need to understand fast what kind of jobs are coming up that we need to push them into, maybe even, right? That's where the government needs to like listen in and see and talk about these things. So I'm seeing a lot of corporates also talking to universities about their
Hmm.
models. So they also do have a lot of conversations. So the big industries, they are talking to universities, hey, you need to teach this, you need to have this incorporated, you need to teach this kind of skills. So AI is of course embedded everywhere, like how they need to do it. How
Yeah.
well it is going to be, I don't know. Maybe the first few years you might learn, might not be right, and all these things. But I feel that connection and that learning needs to be shared throughout, you know?
Yeah.
So the government needs to play its part. Definitely, they are trying to do their best as well, I feel. How much they need to focus, of course, a lot more in quality. So it shouldn't be just nothing that turns into value. So that's why these kind of programs where it comes with placements, comes with like this kind of wholesome kind of total package kind of a way, I think it's best for everybody in a way, so that we can see that growth, or it doesn't just stop with one-offs.
That's amazing, bro. There is definitely an AI hype, I would say,
Mm,
right? There is a lot of noise around AI right now, and many organizations feel they need to adopt it quickly, right? From
mm.
your experience, what do organizations or businesses often misunderstand about AI?
Yeah. I mean, I hear this as well. I think everybody's got AI fatigue, like hearing it every day. Oh my God, AI. You must have AI. What is AI? You want to just go unwind and probably be at your Zoom background, hike some mountain, right? But I think what people kind of like misunderstand is like some things like you mentioned, like which I need a tool, I need to get it now, like let's build it now. Like it's not something that should just change rapidly so fast, right? Think about the people and what they need also. You want to have your team equipped, because if your team is like super powerful, then you can be so cool and be more vigilant in other things that you need to solve, right? So I think AI will help us to be faster because they even did the test one. AI can solve any question in a PhD or whatever level and score the best results. Meaning it won't just pass, it'll pass with flying colors. Anything. So that means it's the most smartest friend you have. But at the same time, it can't do anything. It can't solve your problem unless you ask it to or you work with it in that context. So I think like where people need to understand is yes, it can solve some problems. It can a lot of people like, oh, I want to save money. I need to use AI. I don't want to do social media. Let AI do everything for me. But it's not going to be easy. It's not cheap. It's not gonna just like make something that people gonna really feel the authenticity because media also is changing. How people consume media in another 2 years might change even, Now people short span or maybe they like different kind of styles and format. But these things also are gonna be like, who's to say, right? What's gonna happen? So I feel like understanding what it can do is good. The training, again, I cannot stress how it will make you feel your team will feel more prepared when anything comes down the tunnel or whatever comes up. So at least you're more prepared. So biggest misconception is like, oh, AI is going to solve everything. Everything I need. Even people are thinking like right now, some people are saying like, because of AI, they expect it so fast. So that means my report, hey, I want it tomorrow. Why cannot use AI? It's like, no, it still takes time. And then people say like they're working even more hours because they have AI now. So there's all these other myths and things that are happening that we are not sure of. It also depends on what work you do that needs AI or not even. So I think understanding that it's there, good, but you need to be also understanding of what you want to adapt.
Yeah.
I still love the authenticity, the whole human connection. We are all social creatures. Everybody's still now with all the things that happening around the world. Everybody's like, oh, go back to work from home, a bit more safe on the petrol side of things and all these things. So that's all good. Good procedures to save and all these things. But that human connection, I still feel is so important. That's why, I mean, I'm fortunate to be in training. Training means I meet people and I train people. So I'm glad I still can do that. But I know some people who end up not even going to work ever. They just sit at home and they don't communicate with people. A lot of social issues are going to pop up here and there as well with all this using this technology so much. So when we know all these things, like in the natural order of things of how much energy it consumes, all these things. So I think important to be aware, but also, yeah, not be defeated by it.
Yeah. So having you the opportunity to collaborate with the
Hmm.
National AI Office, that's supposed to be helping how to shape AI, you know, and integrate it across the entire country. Do you think they have strategies to balance such ambition with reality when it comes to AI implementation?
I mean, I haven't seen full adoption yet in a way, but they are coming up with strategies and frameworks on what needs to be done, how this needs to be done. So at least people are more prepared than just like blindly saying, yeah, let's do this. Now, now more than ever, data matters more. So everybody can get good data these days because of the work that's being done and how things are being collected, right? So I feel with that, decision makers can make better decisions, hopefully. I mean, it all depends on the person in power or running the show at the end of the day, but at least they have this data in front of them. So it doesn't lie. It doesn't say like why people are scared or why should we do this or what is needed. Yes, maybe stop teaching this, start teaching that, or how can we maybe implement certain new ways of doing things. So those kind of data is going to be super, super relevant.
Hmm.
So we are also trying to get more better data, better representation of it. And that's why I think even us, we are trying to come up with our own impact report in the coming months, should be coming out soon, where we're going to share how much impact, what kind of changes we've seen, and hopefully then we can bring more strategic players also to come and do this kind of work. Because I think sometimes we do a lot of these things and don't share that data well enough. It's normally like a report to your client and that's it. It doesn't do a report. It doesn't show the report for the public, not for my client, but for us to celebrate, right? So I think that's what I think they are trying to do because it's a national level. So they normally do present these things. So I think we just need to understand what we can do with this data.
Yeah, that's great, man. Let's bring everything into practice. We have been, maybe talking about strategy, how to actually use it, and so on. But for someone running a business or organization, what does it actually mean to use AI effectively?
Okay, so to have it working good is to see what kind of, I would say, task that is like mundane, like things that kills the soul out of your employees. Like, oh my
Yeah,
God, I have to do this again. You have to do this again. Like for me right now, like if I have to do another proposal, every time we have to do proposals, right? So why not? How do we streamline that? What is your pain point, right, that you want to solve? When you make people's life happier, they are happier, they can do more things. So you want to come to that point, right? In America and BGBG, we always are like looking at how can we go maybe to a 4-day work week, and the fifth day is community or learning or give back or do something where we all hold hands and something of reward where it brings better value maybe to the organization or so indirectly or directly, right? So I feel like where it can solve your best problems is going to be super helpful. So that's why I always say, like, look at the most easiest thing that you can solve with AI, that it doesn't need a lot of connections maybe, and try and do that in the start. It's super nice to see because also your clients and all will come and like, oh, what are you all doing? Oh, in AI, we just launched this thing, or we're using it internally. Like I said, internal easier because that's where the all the admin work that we have to do is all there. So yeah, simple rules would be like make sure your data is well kept, organized, important, because when you want to call these things, you need to show them, you have to build your own knowledge base with this, right? So you need to practice good housekeeping in your organization so that, yeah, your team is more ready for it.
yeah. Thanks, man. Great. I think there is a tendency
Mm.
of interest in terms of AI, right? But perhaps some individuals or some organizations, they don't have any idea how to start. So, from your experience, what are some practical first steps that organizations can actually take to begin applying AI in their operations?
Hey, yeah, I said this before a bit, but maybe I can stretch it a little bit. But it's definitely learning. You can't watch a video, a DIY video, and sit like you made it. You have to sit down and knock it and make those mistakes. Only then you will be like, wow, I built this small ugly chair, but it's okay. It's cool. You did it. And then you make it again, you try again, you keep trying, right? So it's same with this. And now with the logic and the codings and the way AI works, it's so much more faster. And you don't need to learn even coding, right? You can just ask it, tell it to make it better, and see how it works. So I feel a lot of times, even the older generations, I'm talking about our parents, they wouldn't even want to dare touch it. So I'm like trying to like say you need to either find even in your organization someone who's excited to use it, celebrate that person, make that person like run sessions, show how they use AI. Tell them they might not be a trainer at heart, they might just like, I just use it, but it's so cool, right? You want to celebrate these people, whether you might
Yeah,
meet other stakeholders in different organizations. Either you need to band together and try something together. This kind of small steps makes the biggest difference. Because when I talk to some organization, I say, how are you all doing AI? Nola never use. I'm like, wow, but you're a big corporate company. Oh yeah, only he uses it lah. So we just normally ask him if we need anything. And sometimes it's still alarming to us when we realize these things, right? Like, even though they are big companies, because they're comfortable, they know how to do their job, they're not going to lose their job, so they're just like, yeah, just keep doing this, it's okay. We know some data might be sensitive and all that, so yes, we understand that, but you need to play a little bit. So treat it like a play time, even, like time for you to, make your own superhero. Like the other day when I was celebrating like Christmas with my dad and all that, I took a photo of him, make him Santa Claus, make him shake hands with Elon Musk in a Ferrari. And you can start with fun stuff like this. So
Hmm.
you don't have to go like, oh, let's go work mode, work, 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 work. Everything must be ROIs and stuff. Start with fun, like play around. Then you can see like, how can I make my life easier? Because you can do less time, less work, then hopefully 4-day work week, guys. We got 7 days in a week, right? 3 days, let's have fun.
Yeah, yeah, of
Maybe.
course.
So that's always like not even have fun. Like as I said, the last one should be at least community based. Something we need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
change the system. I think it's kind of boring that yeah, we have to work, work, work. It's good. And then if AI is going to do a lot of the work, what else can we do? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, to enjoy, your workplace, right? I was
Yeah,
thinking,
exactly. Mm.
I mean, like, I like tech. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a tech savvy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the reason why I love to talk to you guys is because you also work with, let's say, grassroots organizations, right? Those
Yeah.
organizations who work in the third sector, who try from their own corner make the planet better, their community better, right? So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that concerns me the most about AI, it could also widening the digital divide, okay?
Mm.
Because I know it's easier, but to some extent you have to have a little bit of knowledge about technology, right? First,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge about technology, and secondly, of course, access to it, which is super
Mm-hmm.
important because AI wouldn't be working if you don't have an internet access, for instance.
Mm.
AI
Yeah.
wouldn't be working if you don't have access to energy, right? And I think that two factors that are very important, but I want to focus on more than the philosophical level or perhaps this kind of socioeconomic challenges. I was thinking perhaps about the technical expertise, from your experience, what types of AI tools can businesses realistically start with using
Mm-hmm.
today without needing deep technical expertise?
Okay. Yeah, I know you touch a very important part, right? Accessibility, inclusive, all these things. So, very, very important, especially for different types of people. So, I even run some trainings, and the one I run, I think maybe last year sometime, was teaching the blind how to use AI, right?
Wow.
So what's different from our usual ways of training? And we also know when we go and meet a lot of the native communities, some of them, they do have phones for some reason. Either they got donated the phone or a program came and gave them phones. Phones are kind of easy access for most of them. So even for the blind community, they all have phones. But it's a bit different for the model or how you need to type, where you need to go and access. So I had to learn a little bit of what they could do and then how they need to do it. And it depends on your phone model because a different model will do a different thing. So I need to make sure
100%.
like it was like 20 of them and we were trying to like teach them how to use it. So the voice mode is so cool. It's getting better and better. So you can even talk to AI or dictate. The talk one is very nice because you can talk, 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 talk. Then you're happy with whatever they summarize or you want them to summarize, the AI will summarize it for you. So that one is nice because, yes, I think talking, some people feel less intimidated when you have to type, oh my God, I have to type. Some people maybe don't know how to spell or type and all that. So no
Yeah,
issue. So just use the dictate function. You just know where the button. Hi, I want to do business. I like sewing. What can I do? Give me some ideas. Ting, send. Then it reads out all the answers. Ting, send again. So we just did that. We had some cool, fun activities to get them to like explore what they could do, right? So that was nice, using the voice features. And then even for those who can't maybe have different disabilities, maybe they can use different features, maybe the type feature and all that. So I like the Gemini voice feature and ChatGPT's voice feature. That's super fun and easy to use for that community. Now, for those who don't have internet itself, it's going to be a bit trickier, but there are some low powered, even some that are downloaded. So that means you have it on your own sovereign server. So it doesn't need to go connect to the internet, right? So you
Okay.
can have this kind of systems where it doesn't need to go online. It's already on your computer. You just need to use it. So that's another solution for anybody who having issues with internet connectivity. At least you get the quite a good version already from not the expert one that goes online. So that's another layer that you can try to eliminate. Now, the ones without computers and all that, then you need to start with digital literacy kind of trainings, where they need to learn what's a computer, how to use a computer, and all these things. But this tool is almost like the invention of, I don't know, this for me, yeah. It's like fire. We invented the wheel. Computer, yeah, nice. I think computer, internet, and AI can be grouped as one, as tech, right? So with that, because the mobile phone also is all in one, right? So I
Yeah,
feel
of
your
course.
mobile phone is that power. So if anybody wants to start, I think like you can use your mobile phone to actually learn. Because if you see in the study and learn feature on the AI, like Google and ChatGPT, is quite extensive because it's trained it to be like a teacher. So if you tell it like, hey, I only got 1 hour every, so this is what I teach my students, my corporate clients even. First, I ask them to understand what's the trends that's happening in the next 5 years. Then I say, pick one of these trends that you want to learn. Now imagine you only got 1 hour a month, 1 hour a week. You pick a date for yourself to learn the skill for 3 months. It could be a Tuesday evening, could be a Saturday morning, and you want to learn not answering questions and tests. Just tell it, give me some podcasts. I like Joe Rogan style. I like Trevor No, whatever style. You just tell it, it'll come up with your whole plan, what you need to study for 1 hour for a month for this topic. And then automatically, if it's Gemini, you can just say, okay, book my calendar at Tuesday 2 p.m. and plan this whole thing for me. So this is all done without even hitting typing or whatever on your phone. So now you've just asked your calendar to just book your time on this date to make sure you learn this one thing for the next 3 months. So that's the easy wins. So we try to make it like that so that they also pick what they want, what they like, and then they go, then they're like, hey. So that one I say pick a date. This is a date for yourself to learn. Just instead of watching Netflix or doom scrolling this 1 hour, you just go and learn this topic, lah, whatever it is. So yeah, so to answer that question, yes, I think the mobile phone is the best way to learn for different communities.
So, and AI tools, Gemini, I guess.
Gemini and Copilot. Cloud also is very good for if you want to go technical, if you want to do agentic, you want to do programming. It's just because now I think when US was asking Cloud and ChatGPT to get into defense and go into the area of military and all that, uh, they asked Cloud said no, ethically it's not, and ChatGPT say yes. So now everybody is Cloud is the best, like because they're more ethical. They actually came from the same group, right? The founders actually left ChatGPT and founded Anthropic and Cloud. So they're kind of like friends, but not anymore. And that's why people like Cloud a bit more because they're a bit more
Ethical.
mindful, ethical about things.
But in terms of capability, what is better, ChatGPT or
Cloud,
Claude?
really right now when I ask even my friends and all my even my colleagues who's the CTO, he even said like cloud, just go to cloud. So
Wow.
yeah,
And how about Claw? CLAW.
CLA or W, okay, not too bad. Could be top 4, 5 depending on what you want to use it for. There's even Grok, which people use for like human connection stuff because it listens to everybody typing and chatting and dissing each other. So they say like each one of it has its own like capabilities that it focuses on. So yeah.
Okay, so let's do a rapid fire game. I've learned it from you. Okay. So because I love you, you love this game. So
Yeah.
basically, like I'll give you one name and you have to tell me how much would you rank it from 1 till 5? And in
Okay.
one word, what is the best used for?
Okay.
Yeah?
One word and 1 to 5. 5 is the
Yeah.
best.
Let's just
Okay.
start
Try to do it
with
fast.
Gemini.
4. Um, Fast.
Okay. A co-pilot.
Uh, 3. Uh, Windows.
Okay. Mm, Chat GPT.
Because I'm paying for it, so I have to say it's at least a 4. Um, I want to say clean. Yeah,
Clean. Okay.
clean.
Grok.
I put 2.
Two.
Uh, Chatty.
And I suppose your favorite, Claude.
Ooh, now going at 5.
Okay.
Ethical, of course.
Ethical. And how about Claw?
Claw, I don't use it so much. I use Perplexity. I use a few other ones, so I wouldn't say I know it so much. So I'll give it a middle 3, and I'm just gonna say exploration. If you want to explore different tools, can you explore Claw? Yeah, why not?
Okay. Perplexity.
Oh, I'll give it a 4. I'd say planning because I use it for like when I want to plan it has a lot of news discovery. It has like can plan your travel. It has a travel LLM which is quite cool. So yeah,
So,
planning.
in other words, for someone who is or who wants to start to using today AI tools without
Hmm.
needing so much deep technical expertise, we would say Gemini,
Yeah.
uh, Claude, ChatGPT, and Perplexity.
Yes, that's mine. I have 3 always open, 3 AIs. I always sometimes, but I don't use it as often because I know it takes up a lot of power and stuff. So
Yeah.
I use it only when I need to. And then I try to maybe, if I need, I try 2 areas or which 2 to just like see what the differences are if I need to. Like very
Hmm.
deep stuff. Sometimes you want to get like different perspective. It's interesting to try. But that's why somebody asked me today, wow, David, you teach, you use AI every day. I said, no, I try not to. I actually, because I do a lot of meetings with people, I have to plan stuff. So until I plan things first, then only I go. I try not to like, hey, give me answers now. You want to still use your brains.
Okay, fantastic. So now
Yeah.
let's keep playing, but now let's
Ooh,
change it a little bit. Now we're
okay.
gonna go from task to what AI tools is the best to use it.
Oh, all
Okay?
right.
Graphic design or design in general.
Gemini or Mid Journey?
Gemini or Midjourney. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Video editing and video stuff.
Yeah. Flow VO3.
Flow
Flow
VO3.
because it's free for 5 seconds or 6 seconds. VO3 because we have the paid one, we get a bit more. So that's why.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, for social media, I'm posting.
Oof, I use a lot of Chat GPT, honestly.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
For planning.
Again, I use Chat GPT a lot. Gemini sometimes for like fast because I always find it like um ChatGPT thinks, tells me stuff. Sometimes I just like, no, this is what I need. Just give me it fast, and Gemini does it fast.
Okay, and strategy.
I want to still say ChatGPT. Maybe Cloud also, if you've programmed it well and you've used it and you have everything saved, Cloud is also very good.
Mhm. And the last one is for improving your process in the business or on your organization.
I'll have to go with Cloud because that's what all my teams are using it right now for all the internal stuff we're building. So yeah, Cloud takes
Fantastic.
the win for that.
Is there anything that I forget that you would recommend for tasks and maybe combine it with AI?
Not so much. Those are very like fun play around stuff. Like I said just now, Suno, 11 Labs, Gamma. I use Gamma for like proposals, for designing proposals. Gamma is super good. Gemini, we use because Gemini, if you pay for Google, you get the Google Suite. And then Gemini is in every folder of everything. That means if I open up my slides, I can just click on it, change this image to something else. So I can just like go to my Excel and hey, can you make this formula like this for me? So that Gemini in everywhere, because as a social enterprise, we have everybody mostly use Gemini unless you're corporate, then you use Microsoft, right? So because you have to pay for Microsoft software and the security and all that. So but Gemini, whoo, with this it's so much easier. My slides, I can't design sometimes. I need to find that right image. You know how it used to be. You have to go to like free pick or flaticon.com. Now it's just like click, hey, make me a image like this, but turn it around.
That's crazy, man, right?
Yeah,
So Gemini, it
yes.
seems because it's owned by Google, right?
Yes, correct. They're too big.
Yeah. Now, not every AI implementation works as expected, right?
Hmm.
What do you think are some common mistakes or pitfalls that you've seen organizations make when trying to adopt AI?
I mean, the big ones would be just like they expect it to just work straight up or like returns like immediate, those kind of things are like not gonna happen. Like you can't just expect it to, hey, build me this software and should be fast, should be free. And then it's like, no, there's a lot of parameters, there's a lot of things you need to put into place, right? But I feel a lot of times, especially it depends on the scale of the organization or the understanding. I think they don't understand the level of complexity and security that you need to think about also.
Hmm.
So, I mean, as much as we say like, yeah, pay for the services to get security, who's to say how secure is it gonna be?
Yeah, of course.
You never know, right? I mean, we can say yes, 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 and then you see like all these Facebook fellas getting sued or getting called out and all these things. So for now, we're like, yeah, we're paying, yeah, security is there. So it's difficult for some. That's why a lot of people they trust like the big companies like Microsoft. Microsoft does, banking and all these things. So healthcare, all these things. So there are certain fields I feel very, very um heavy, like whether it's defense or all these topics are very like, whoa, healthcare, so crucial for the security side of things. So that one I think everybody needs to understand because as we become creators of AI, like you can build your own AI tools easily now in the future as it comes, then we need to understand that we're going to be held responsible. So if I build an AI and that AI makes you turn into I don't know, maybe does some harm, then guess what? You're going to be held responsible, right?
Yeah.
So that accountability, I think people don't understand yet. They just like maybe are just doing it to solve things or just make money and all these things. Like we see scams happening and all this kind of stuff. So in that whole pipeline, it's just knowing that this ethical thing is very important to understand before you start launching all your whatever tools you want to come and create, so making sure that stuff is done right.
That's great, man. From your experience, what surprised you most about how organizations actually use AI once they start?
Hmm. I think in terms of The simplest thing I think right now, because when we teach the advocacy stuff, is at least knowing how to prompt better. It's one of the first things we teach. And important because every time we ask them to prompt, they prompt it like their own way without having the criterias met, right? So just knowing that they can prompt better makes them feel like, oh, I don't need to go to Google. Or for this thing, I go for Google, and this thing. So when to search, when to prompt. Very important, very basic, right? Then they can understand like how to, provide better reports, better, because analyzing data and stuff, some people they don't know how to do that, either, unless you've learned it a little bit, you know what to do. But now with these AI tools, you can really get very good data that is explained better.
Hmm,
So I feel
of
this kind
course.
of usage, even though it's in that starting part, that's where we want to hit first before we go into development. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And also, like, it's surprising how some organizations are adapting quickly and
Mm.
they are using it in their own favor. But then again, like the last report that I've read about
Mm.
sustainable enterprises, they basically declare that by integrating AI, they
Yeah.
are saving 60% of the what they used to spend in salaries.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is like, let's see what's going on. But it's fine. I mean, it happens. I don't think it's a hype. I think it's just
Yeah.
gonna keep happening and keep growing. And you either swim or sink. I think that would be
True.
the right.
Exactly. I think you just gotta have that play mindset, like, yeah, gonna have fun, gonna do this. So I always tell people like carve out some time for that moment, just to embrace it even. Some of my team members I speak to, they're like, oh, Saturdays I'm programming, I'm doing this cool stuff. So I'm like super impressed. I'm like, wow, you don't even have, he's a law student and he's like playing with it. I'm like, wow, this is so awesome. I'm just like cheering him on. And I'm like, okay, Tuesday you come, we go sit down, you show me what you did. Huh? I just want to learn. I just want to try this for my use case. Then we try it out. So yeah, I think these kind of smaller learning circles is nice. You find your friends who doing it, learn from them, try these kind of things. Yeah, I think that's the fun part of it all, because you can do so many things. You can just say like the other day I was teaching the team event after our team meeting. We said like, hey, let's all have fun. Let's go program a game. A normal game could be chess, could be snake and ladder, but in the snake ladder, you need to implement a learning. So every time you roll a dice, the snake, if you hit a ladder or a snake, it'll ask you a question. So if you answer the question correctly, you go to the next step. So just
Yeah,
so simple, like things like that. Yeah, I can't wait to be. I want to design games.
that's amazing, bro. But don't you
I can't wait
think,
for that. Yeah,
like I was wondering the other day,
yeah,
the amount of time that I'm saving by using AI. Don't you
mm,
think?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's crazy, man.
Especially like even some of the reports. So the good thing with Notebook LM, you can take like 100-page report, dump it into Notebook LM, and then you click a button, and then it makes it into a podcast that two people talk. So it makes your 90-page report into two people talking for 15 minutes. So you can just listen to this whole report. I was like, wow, you know, these kind of things like just makes life like, wow, I can just ask it, summarize, give me 3 points from this thing. What should I
And
learn
can you
most from
add,
this thing?
and
Hmm?
also can you add like your voice from 11 Labs?
Uh, to 11 Labs, yes, 11 Labs allows you to add your own voice.
No, no, yeah, but
There's,
for instance, like if you want to do what you just mentioned
oh,
with Node LM, can you add your
you
voice and then,
should you should be able to, but you need to link it then. So you need to take
okay,
your own document or your writings, you write something, then tell it, take this, make it into a 15-minute conversation with so and so, sounding like this. Then you bring a, then you bring the site, then yes, you can. You should be able to.
that's crazy, man, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
have you ever thought how much time you are saving?
I
Because for
haven't
me,
stipulated that, but I imagine like days.
don't you think like now we can multitask better because of
Yeah,
AI?
Yeah,
100%, man.
that's why I said like even though you can multitask, that means you can do more. And then when you have to do more, you do more and more, which is good. It speeds up the whole level of things, right? Of like how we can. That's why they say innovation, all these things is gonna be like so quick. I saw someone quoted, could it be that AI is the last innovation of mankind? Because everything else AI is going to develop, You just ask it, what's missing? Okay, this thing, okay, make it for me. 3D print it, done, sell, this, that. So they're like, was a funny thing to hear, but yeah, it's like so
That's
amazing to see
crazy, man.
that. Yeah. So,
But also, like, to be honest, I don't know, man. I feel sometimes you are too reluctant to something new. And then
mm,
when you actually try it, you realize it'll be easier for you. Like, for instance, um, it makes also a good quality of your work.
yeah,
It enhances
yeah,
your work. I mean, it's not like it does my work. I give them some ideas, and it makes it better. So you are better at your
hmm,
work, and also you save time, and you can focus on other things which are also beneficial for your company and for your
yeah,
organization. As you said before, man, like if you have time for your time to spend time with your colleagues, talking something different than work, you will be more efficient and so on. So let's
hmm.
go to a bit bigger picture. Do you think we are truly in an AI revolution?
Revolution. I don't know. Revolution feels like I think if we're an evolution of mankind, maybe, but revolution, I think
Okay.
it's kind of a good stepping point of what we are doing. So we're not like going around like, oh my God, this needs to happen. I feel everybody's just gonna have to. They're doing it already. They understand the value of it, so they're not like, oh my God, this is. I mean, there's some, of course, like naysayers or thinks it's bad or have certain like it could turn into a Terminator. It could become conscious and all these things, right? That's another story. Who knows,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of
That's
course. Let's see.
but
Look, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
100%, man.
but looking at it as I think it's more of an evolution of what we can do now. So like I
I
said
like
just I
that.
know the
Yeah,
innovation
yeah.
of fire was so big, changed everything. The wheel. Technology is that whole circle from mobile phones to now AI,
I like
you
that.
know?
I like this use
Yeah.
of evolution rather than revolution. So,
Yeah.
looking ahead, how do you see AI shaping businesses and economies, particularly in regions like Southeast Asia?
So yeah, I'm really keen on seeing new innovative solutions. It's always interesting to see what people are trying to create, different new ideas coming about. So I feel like one is maybe it's going to help business run, small businesses can grow faster, easily.
Mm,
They can compete with the big guys like no issues anymore, right? So the big guys better watch it because small guys because more people want authentic audience, authentic voice, rather than the same old big guys, right? So it's gonna disrupt some of those guys because they think they were too big to fail, but now they're like, oh no, we got downsize. They're gonna downsize in those kind of areas because they're gonna say like sales, all these things, and those fellas who are losing these jobs, they're gonna need jobs, right? So I'm hopeful and optimistic that we as humans will find ways to make ourselves be useful. We
yeah.
somehow rather need to find work and make use of our time and get things going. So whether it could be a shift towards more creative economy, it could be more social economy work. I love that because that's more value adding as well. People want to get in touch with these kind of areas. So there might be more push towards that direction, right? Like I said, everybody can work from home means who knows? Everybody wants to go to an island and work then, right? So in the island community needs to grow. There needs to be different kind of like attractions to businesses in that way. So I like that sort of movement. But it needs to be sustainable. So it shouldn't harm the environment. It shouldn't like build more like barriers or problems to those kind of ecosystems. So I would like to see that kind of a change would be nice to happen. So being prepared for this kind of shift is what we need to make people think about innovation, right? Whether you need to innovate yourself, reinvent yourself to fit this new age, that's something we all need to look out for. So even parents and teachers have a
Yeah,
big role to play to,
that's
advocate to their
crazy.
kids, tell them like, go learn about new materials if you like. If you like renewable energy, yes, that's the place to be at. So figure out what are these places where you're going to be, good, and what is something they like as well. So you can try and figure that out in an early age as well. Yeah.
If you think about it, there wouldn't be only,
Mm.
I mean, like we were talking about digital natives, right?
Mm.
And now we need to talk about AI natives. I mean, the
Yeah.
kids, they're gonna grow up with AI already embedded, already
Yeah.
evolving, and already doing things. And I'm pretty sure in
Correct.
10 years' time, we're gonna have robots, because the area
Easily.
of robotics is also growing though. From
Mm-hmm.
your collaboration with the National AI Office, what kind of changes are you seeing or perceiving in how governments think about AI? Because I think, can you imagine being
Yeah.
governed by an AI agent or something?
Yeah. So I know they have adopted good strategies. That's why I think like because Microsoft is a big part component with all the banks and all the government bodies, they use all these systems and servers and all these things, right? So they already know they need to secure themselves for one thing, and they
Mhm.
need to prepare, like definitely they need to prepare the larger audience, public, in terms of what they need to prepare is these jobs, because yeah, that's where unrest can happen, right? Because people don't have jobs, they can't feed, they can't do this. So if we don't match the rate of change that's happening, it can cause a lot of harm. So they need to listen to these things. They know that this will bring about good change as well. It's not going to be bad, even whether it's like changes in terms of pricings or how things are done. Um, you can't change the fact that this is happening already. So that's why that embracing moment is not like a fad or like, oh, we need to, why do we need to talk about it? It's a must. So that's why even like I think last year, Malaysia, we were the host for the Asian Summit, where we brought all the Asian countries together, and digital was a big component. And it should rightfully so be, right? So I think there's still going to be a lot of summits, a lot of conferences. We see even we are part of one of the for MSME, Malaysia Small Medium Enterprises. There's a group that convenes, and they are doing one of their programs here. So we want to host all these kind of conversations. We have to stay relevant in AI because we are teaching it, but also to understand what's going on, right? What are the pain points? It's hard to understand every angle so much, right? But what we can do is to do our best to gather this data, and also to feed it back to the big channels that we can. So we are quite happy that, or fortunate also, that we can work with teachers, with corporates, with the public. So yeah, we are like pretty excited to see this, and then to see the bigger numbers transferred there. Wow, it's gonna be quite cool to see the data after that.
Yeah. So listen, my feeling is, or this is what according what I've read about this
Mm,
AI national office in Malaysia, they tend to be more practical. I mean, what
mm.
I'm trying to say is here in the EU, they have this kind of like EU AI Act, right? But I
Ah,
think they're
okay.
focusing massively in high risk ethical, challenges and
Mm,
so on. Like EU seems to be like the master of regulation. They have
yeah.
1,000 norms, everything is interconnected. I
Yeah.
suppose they have to do it to have such a diverse block of countries,
Mm-hmm.
right? So do you
Yeah.
think the AI national office in Malaysia is more practical or same? It's about regulation, policy making, and norms. What do you think?
I think they are in that area also to figure that out, because I don't think so they will end of the day be the ones who are gonna tell this is the new, you must change to this. They're not gonna be the rule setters and stuff, you know.
Okay.
So they're still gonna be that body that governs themselves to bring about this data. Now, after that, it's up to the MPs and parliament and government and corporates also. So they are talking to corporates. So corporates, they also listen, and then up to all these sectors to make a decision based on this. But of course, there's a roadmap, there's all these things. So hopefully they're not so blindsided or egoistic to not follow some of these things that they set out to think or do. We know the
Mhm.
Orange Man might not even care about all these things because Orange Man does his own thing. But the rest of us, I think most of the countries they would. But who's to say? It all depends on the person who makes the decision in the day, right? So it's up to the dean of a school or a university to actually say, yes, this report, let's do this. Because some people, if the dean never used AI and hates AI, then they're just going to be like, yeah, 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 good, but no, no, we should be strong on our principles and do business as usual. Then you're business as usual, right? So that's why that awareness is important. They need to sit on this bicycle or throw this dice and see it, and then they're like, oh wow. And they can't hide from it because their kids or their family or someone's going to be able to like, hey, see what I did. And then slowly they're going to be like, oh wow, this thing is quite cool. Oh wow, this thing I should maybe try. So I think you'll get more yays than nays at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
For someone who perhaps is listening and wants to use or wants to start using AI in their business or in their organizations, but feels a little bit overwhelmed, what
Mm.
are the 2 or 3 simple, practical tips that you would give them?
So easy wins in that way would be see what you like. Try two things, I would say. Maybe one for your personal development and one for your professional development.
I love
Because
it, man.
the two is kind of like different, right? So see what will help you in your personal development. Maybe something I want to do, I want to read more. I want to do something, and what is that personal development that'll help you? And then try to use AI to unlock that if you can, right? It might be big. So just ideate, see where you can go. Then, like I said, that study and learn is an easy way. It might hit or miss, try a few things, set those times, done. Professional development, that one is a bit more serious, right? Workflow, all these things. You want to show your boss you're damn cool. Try something, show a prototype, no issues, right? They're not wasting anybody's time. You can do it on a Saturday. AI does half of the work for you. You just try and then show, hey, guess what? I made this proposal with AI. Check it out. It took me 10 minutes. Do something like that, easy wins. Wow. Even your teammates, maybe don't go to your boss straight away, just within your teammates itself. And these kind of things, even your boss will be like, whoa, okay, you know pretty good stuff. Some things might be very simple to you, so you don't want to go show your boss, or they might know bigger things, but explore it for your own work to help you save time. And you never know, those things could be saving your company money even, right? That's where
Hmm.
you can push the envelope a bit. So I would say look in these two areas, because your personal could be something fun. Your professional, of course, it's something to save you time.
Okay, I like that. Um, One of the biggest challenges, you know, eh, according to these new reports and news and so on, and putting them together is knowing whether AI is actually delivering value to the
Hmm.
businesses and to organizations. You just mentioned before in the beginning where we were talking about that you guys gonna come up with a report whether integrating AI has been useful or not, right? Kind of,
Hmm.
if I understood correctly. How should organizations evaluate the use of AI in their businesses?
Hmm. Yeah. So it's two parts we're doing. One report is actually our own impact to the programs we've run. But we
Love it.
also, because as we teach people build AI systems, they were like, who are you? What are systems you have built for yourself? So we need to show the systems we have built and how it's helped us, right? So how to quantify it? I would say some part is time. How much time would you have spent on this if not for doing it yourself? Because also paying for these tools costs money. Every time it does its own work, the agent's work, it does take tokens, right? It needs to go log in here, take this thing, put here, come up the report, send it to you. So that's what it does, right? So you need to know it's going to cost money, one, and but also how much time does it save you. So some places you can say like, okay, if this 2 days now it saves this person 2 days, what could this one person do actually with that time now, right? So what kind of value you as leaders need to see as well, because there's going to be, if you build the system correctly, you're going to actually save a lot of time. What are these people going to do, right? So you need to reintegrate your staff also to think of different things that can bring value for your company. What are those big things you wanted to do but couldn't do because everybody's bogged down doing this, right? So now is the time you can reach for those other goals in your organization. So knowing that this is going to happen, think of that bigger picture, not because it's nice to have, but it's something that is attainable now, right?
Hmm.
So it will be definitely value in terms of how much time saved and how much cost.
Yeah, of course. That's
Yeah.
true, man. So, I think that's the last question, bro. Thank you. If you had to give one piece of advice, right, to leaders making decisions about AI today, what would it be?
Okay, mine would be definitely you cannot just shove things down people's throat, just saying, hey, go, let's get an AI tool and all that. Not gonna happen, right? So if you're a leader, you need to learn. Um, that's why we even teach C-level to junior levels to associates to managers and all these things. So find some place how you like to learn. Because some people they don't want to learn in the classroom, some don't want virtual, some like this, some like that. Spend a bit of money. This tools that you're going to use or whichever area, whatever scope you're looking at for the AI course that you're going to take, it's not just a certificate. Don't do anything that's just theory based. So make sure it's something practical. I would say definitely go to a one step higher is learn how to build these agents. Okay, because the prompting, all that. If you need, start with that one. That one should be just a 1 day course and that's it, just to give you that feel good on how to prompt, all that. That one should be a 1 day course minimum, okay, or less even. But the big one comes when you see the agentic at work, because on in theory it sounds like, wow, yeah, but when you try it, like you did your 11 labs, now one more step. How do I make my 11 labs send me a voice or message on my phone? Or every time somebody sends me an email and says, hey, I need a proposal, how can my email now connect to my Gamma AI with or my notebook LM and tell it what to build and then send it to Gamma or Google Slides and build me that slides and then send and then write me that email with the slide there for me to just review. So all I need to do now is just review this slides. Is it correct? Make some tweaks if I need to and send. So that connection points, boom, can blow your mind.
Wow, that's
In theory,
amazing.
it sounds nice. In theory, you can just explain. You can sell it. But practicality, when you see it and you do it yourself, you're going to be like, whoa, I'm like amazing. My whole team can do it. That means if I could do it, wow, you're just going to be, your possibilities will just spark up after that.
So, can you maybe like just to
Hmm.
wrap up, um, like explain very simply, for instance, how do you make your 11 labs
Talk
be
to
your
another
agent?
tool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how would you do that?
So you need to use APIs. So APIs normally then will connect these conversations.
API.
API is a method of doing it.
Which is
NEN,
API is?
uh, API, I don't know the
Sorry, bro. I
abbreviation.
mean, we can maybe just Gemini it. Yeah,
Yes.
either. No, but it's good,
So,
man, because
yeah, yeah. I can Gemini it for you. So then N8N is the way you use to connect different platforms. Okay. So if you want LinkedIn to talk to ChatGPT, that means now or and maybe Excel. So you ask ChatGPT to write a LinkedIn post every Tuesday for you. Okay.
yeah,
So API is application programming interface, a set of rules and protocols that enable different software applications to communicate and exchange data. So in theory, that's what it does. Okay, so
Okay.
N8N is this platform that allows you to talk to different softwares.
Wow, that's
That
fantastic.
that is where it comes like woohoo magic. But
And this
again,
is when
it's
you
drag and
actually
drop.
exactly. This is when you
Yeah.
actually like make your AI your agent.
Yes. That's when
Yeah,
the
because
agent comes
ChatGPT is
alive.
only your. It's
Brainstorming friend.
okay.
Or it gives you ideas, gives you all these things like Gemini can do some things, right? Like I just said, you can say, go to my calendar and book my time with so and so at 3 o'clock and send the Google link or something like that. It might not send you it won't send it won't send the Zoom link because that one you need to log into Zoom, you need to get your Zoom code, you need to put. So yeah, when you need to talk to different softwares and stuff, that's where you need this connection to happen.
That's amazing, man. Great. Okay, Jay, that was fantastic. It was a very,
Woo!
very interesting conversation, man. I've learned a lot. I'm 100% sure the audience too. And it was great to see you again, man. I hope to catch up at some point. So
Definitely,
that was
definitely.
great, man. Say hello
Thanks so
to
much.
our American family and, you know, to Mala, of course.
Definitely. I was
Okay.
telling my friend suddenly saw my calendar. He's like, "Oh, Jay, you're talking to someone about AI. Can I get the file? I so want to promote it because so he's my boy that works with me, my guy who does our America AI lab. So he was like, wow, this is gonna be cool. So he is just happy to like reshare this. Hopefully we can reach large audiences as well over here.
Let's do it, man. Fantastic. Okay. This is a win-win, huh? Our audience learn and, we talk about
Reshare it
American
around.
AI Lab. Okay, fabulous, man. Go to rest. Time difference, it's a massive, it's for you. So thanks, man,
No
for
problem.
giving up your time. Cool.
No problem. Thank you so
Cheers, bro.
much. Great to connect again. Take care.